This thing is running late today. Sorry about that. We're doing the best we can here. Yeah. Okay, so let's start it with a clip. And today we're going to do evaluation of my stream yesterday, what I got right, what I got wrong, and some tips that will be helpful for me to improve on my later streams. This might be a regular thing where I do my discussion stream on Friday, and then the next day, Saturday evening, I do a review of my previous stream. So that way I can go over any questions or maybe some comments, maybe some mistakes, and how we can do better. Let's start with this.
Well, my understanding is that the property owners who have properties there choose just not to rent it at all.
Yeah, kill them. Kill those motherfuckers and murder those motherfuckers in the street. Let the streets soak in their fucking red capitalist bloods, dude.
Well, my understanding is that the property.
How about let's try another one here?
If you cared about Medicare fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott.
You need conservatives to be afraid of getting killed when they go to events so that they look to their leadership to turn down the temperature. The issue is right now, they don't feel like there's any fear.
Do it. Besides marching and protesting, what else do you suggest? Well, it doesn't happen overnight. It's not a miraculous. What did you say? Murder. She's kidding. Wait.
Someone has to do it. See, when I say that, everyone knows exactly what I mean. That which is, I think that shows that there's a lot of anger.
Our First Lady Melania is here. Look at Melania, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow.
Realize the biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized to the right. And we have to start doing something about them.
Indeed, right? Yeah. Okay, so just to start with some really hot takes, some hot clips here by these people, these despicable human beings that keep advocating for violence. So I just wanted to start that clip off to show that that we're not making stuff up here. But anyway, that's not what the purpose of today's stream is. Today's stream is going to be evaluation. So you see on the screen here how I have some notes I've been taking all day, and what I got right, what I got wrong, how can I get more engagement and stuff, and how I can do better in the next stream, and just a self-evaluation. That's all this is. So let's get into it now. There's lots of stuff here, lots and lots of good information here. And my screen looks a little yellow over there. Okay, let's get a little coffee here. So here's my structured in-depth analysis of my YouTube video that I did yesterday on Hasan Piker, violent communist streamer exposed Ancap analysis and critique. So done through this lens, like I said yesterday, it's done through the anarcho-capitalist, agorist, and radical objectivist lens. And that's how I analyze all my videos or debates that I review, or any kind of topic that I do it through that lens. So yesterday was, well, that said April 30th, but when did I stream that? I streamed that yesterday, which was May 1st, Japan time. Okay. So since this was a fresh upload, it doesn't have very low views now. It's over, I don't know, what is it now? Let me check real quick over here. Sorry I'm a little late. I had for some reason, my slobs just reset everything, so I had to put all the inputs back in again. Let's see. Let's check out how many views does my video have now currently for that yesterday's live stream. What do I have here? I have oh, it's up to 120 now views. So that's more than it was yesterday. So, okay, so it's 120 views. There are a few comments, but they're the typical, slanderous slurs, oh, he's just another libertarian. So they're just saying libertarian like it's a slur. And they're not offering any insight or critique, or not pointing out anything that I got wrong or got right during the video, not specifically showing timestamps. But that's what I'm going to be working on, and we're going to go over that later. I probably should start adding timestamps to my videos. So I'll focus here on content quality, presentation delivery. This is the setup here: ideological framing, strengths and weaknesses, and actual improvements for my next stream. So my goal here is to help my own level up political content creator in Liberty, Ancap, Objectivist, agorist space. That's what I'm going to help myself with. So we're going to start with that, what I got right. And then we have 5 points to go over. 6, I'm sorry. And then we go, what page? What the hell page am I going here? 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see, improve oh, here we go. 4, okay, we're going down. And then we go all the way back to the top again. So what can I do to improve my next stream? I'll go over that. This also provide tips for other people too if they want to improve their streams. Then we go into Hasan Piker's debate strategies, how to prepare and execute effective ANCAP objectivist critique. So this is some good advice for people that want to debate him, and here's how you can do it. So we'll go over that. We keep going. I hope I got that. A, B, C. There's B right up there. Okay. Content, depth, balance, delivery, engagement. I don't really like this setup here, so we're just going to go like, Okay. How can I change the view of my page? Oh, well, let's just see what happens. I don't care. I'll worry about that later. A little minor detail. Okay, so what I got right. Let's talk about that first. What I got right. So the first thing I got was a very clear ideological positioning. If you read the prompt, I'm an anarcho-capitalist, okay? Radical objectivist agorist. That's pretty clear. That's a pretty clear prompt. There's no ambiguity there. I didn't hedge or water down my critique at all. I framed Hasan explicitly as inconsistent. Let me put I here. Okay. Okay. So I framed Hasan explicitly as inconsistent, very inconsistent. He champions anti-capitalism while thriving in it. A useful idiot for collectivist ideas, and someone whose rhetoric normalizes initiatory violence. This is intellectually honest from a radical ANCAP objectivist agorist viewpoint. Right on. Many creators often soften their language to avoid backlash. Now that's true. You can look that up yourself. So I avoid that. I did not soften my language. I didn't, which builds my brand here, my distinct brand. And I will never back down. I will never water it down. I'm not a pragmatist. I hate pragmatism. I hate any kind of altruism, any kind of stuff like that. Those are evil, and I will not back down. I will not soften my language ever, as yesterday was proof. Okay, so my target selection, Hasan Piker is an excellent subject. He's highly visible, influential within Gen Z, explicitly pro-socialist communist in rhetoric. In other words, people live in fantasy land. Lives affluent lifestyle and has a history of edgy, tanky, adjacent comments that are easy to clip and critique. We saw that at the beginning of the live stream there, his takes there. So it was a good choice for driving engagement in right libertarian circles. Description as hook. This is another thing I got right. The video description is dense with my thesis. It clearly signals the angle, voluntary exchange versus collectivism, hypocrisy on wealth, historical outcomes of communism. This helps with the CEO for people searching Hasan critiques or ANCAP content. Multi-platform approach, of course, I was using Restream to hit like 30 platforms simultaneously, but I only did 2. A smart enough for early growth. Okay, it maximizes exposure with minimum extra effort. So that was my assessment of yesterday's stream. If you have anything else to add, what I got right, please let me know. Okay, so now we talked about what I got right. So now let's go to the good stuff. What did I get wrong? Okay, so Low production energy. Yeah, well, yeah, I got to work on that. You know, you got to be like the Kino Casino. You know, they got high energy when they go into stuff. So low production energy, engagement hooks. You know what I'm gonna do? Let's see. I'm going to. I open this up, my website, my YouTube channel. It has all this crap here. Let's see. History. Now I need. Where's music? I got a lot of crap in here. Let's see. Repair, relax. Oh, here it is. That's what we want. Let's get to the ambient. There we go. Have that going in the background. Let me turn that down just a little bit. I should have had this ready, but oh, there it goes. You can see my great YouTube channel now showing up. I don't care. Okay, there, we got the Bolivian sounds going. Cool. Okay, so what I got wrong and weak. Low production energy, engagement hooks from the metadata, and is this page 2? And typical issues with similar low view political streams. The title here in the thumbnail, assuming standard fill a bit generic long, like for example, I call it violent communist streamer exposed, is clickbaity. Someone pointed that out in the chat. That's true. It is clickbaity. But without strong visual proof in the first 30 seconds, 60 seconds, specific clips of Hasan saying something particularly damning, plus my sharper rebuttal. Yeah. Okay. Let me turn that down a little bit. That's a little annoying in my ear. There you go. Okay. I don't know if you can still hear that. Okay, there. It wasn't clickbaity. Someone did point out that the title was clickbaity. Where is it? I needed to do some sort of visual proof at the beginning. Let's see. Specific clips of Hasan saying something particular damning. I just show that. I did that. I did that right on this stream. My sharp rebuttal. Viewers bounce. That's right. Boing, boing, they go away. Early retention is probably the biggest killer here. Yes. Abso-fucking-lutely. That's what I did wrong. And then we have potential over-reliance on moral framing without enough fresh evidence. Yeah, I could have showed more evidence, but I didn't. I just stuck to the essay format. But I'm going to change that over the next week, or, make an attempt. So, calling someone dangerous, inconsistent, and ultimately immoral is fine on my philosophy. But without time-stamped, high-impact clips of Hasan advocating violence initiated of force or detailed breakdowns of his wealth sources versus his policies, it can come across as preaching to the choir found rather than converting or deeply informing. Yeah, I got to work on that rather than, let me highlight that in red. Okay. Audience, even though sympathetic ones want receipts plus analysis, not assertion, right? For next week, next Friday's stream, I'll do this. I'll make these improvements. Pacing and structure. Political live streams often ramble if there's no tight outline. Without timestamps in the description, my new viewers can't easily jump to strong sections, I find. So if the stream was like 1 to 2 hours of continuous talking, headcam without B-roll, Hasan clips, memes, or screen shares, hey, IG or EG Kino Casino, it's likely felt monologue heavy, yes. I kind of agree with that. But I don't want to make it too exciting and too flashy because you get distracted. Here's another thing I got wrong. Audience size mismatch. Hasan has hundreds of thousands of concurrent viewers at peaks. My critique needs punch rather than visually and rhetorically to cut through. So well, I have like 120 views now. The algorithm isn't pushing it yet, which is normal for a new channel video. Well, new video, but my channel's not new. But highlights the need for better hooks. I got to highlight that. So that's my evaluation of my video here. Yesterday's video. Another aspect that I found that was weak was tone calibration. The exposed language and violent communism in this title risked triggering YouTube's demonetization. It limited reach filters on political content, especially the body of the video doesn't deliver undeniable clips. It can also alienate potential moderate libertarians who prefer steelmanning opponents first. Yeah, that's what I should have done. That was the weak point. I didn't steelman first. I should have done that. I'll do that next week. Let me save these notes, and I will look at these notes when I make improvements. So here's what I can do to improve my stream from now on. Hopefully this is helpful. What can I do significantly for the next stream? Well, one thing you do, number one, front load value. First 3 minutes or everything. Start with the strongest clips. It doesn't have to be Hasan. It can be anything. Him defending something authoritarian, downplaying historical communist death tolls, or luxury socialist hypocrisy. Right? Show images of his house. Immediately contrast it with Ancap principles, voluntarism, and non-aggression principles. How markets solve the problem he claims requires state collective force. So I'll hide that like that. So I have to contrast that. Immediately contrast. State my thesis clearly and why it matters. I thought I kind of did that in a way, but I could have done it more. I should have emphasized that more. So I should have said, like, this is why young people are turning against freedom, and here's the intellectual rot behind it. Okay. So number 2 point, weak point that I got wrong, the visual and production upgrades. I need to use more screen recording, like show clips, chat reactions. Oh, that's a good one. His luxury setup, house, show receipts, net worth estimates, or side-by-side comparison. Hasan said, for example, Hasan says Eat the Rich versus his streaming income. They say, I say better thumbnail. High contrast image of Hasan plus red X or broken chains, money signs, something like that. Something more distinct. Bold text like Hasan Piker's communist hypocrisy exposed. That's a good, better thumbnail overall. I used Adobe. I used the what was that program I used? The Adobe. Let me see. Adobe Firefly. That's what I used to make the thumbnail. Okay. So, more screen recordings, better thumbnail, shorter title. It helps. I should maybe had a shorter title to test, like HasanAbi's Socialist Hypocrisy Ancap Breakdown. That probably would have been better, the title, or why Hasan Piker is wrong about capitalism. Ancap Critique. That's another one. One thing I'm going to do from now on, it's not that hard, I don't think. It's pretty easy to do, is add chapters, timestamps in the description. So like intro, 8:45, so on, like that example. Okay. So that's better. I'm going to start working on that next week from now on. Even when I make my standalone videos, I probably should do timestamps. Okay, here's another thing I probably need to work on. Is content depth and balance. So the first thing I do is steal mine, then destroy. Let me highlight that. Okay. So I need to steal man, then destroy. Briefly acknowledge Hasan's strength, charisma, good production, reaching disaffected youth before tearing into contradictions. This makes my critiques more persuasive. Yeah, I should have done that kind of back and forth kind of thing like that instead. So that was the thing I noticed I got wrong. And also maybe brief, fresh angles, like dive into specific policy positions. His takes on Venezuela, Cuba, UBI, property rights, that's good. Punchanuzzi, rhetoric as initiation of force. Compare outcomes under systems he praises. And capitalist benchmarks using data, but keep it concise. Yep. Don't turn into a lecture. But my standalone videos are more essay oriented. But for a live stream like this, I probably need to do something more contrasty like this. Okay, so I need to incorporate objectivist, agorist specifics. I kind of did that. I even talked about agorist alternatives, platforms. Agorist, how Hasan's hypocrisy violates the non-initiation of force, how black markets, agorism undermine the state he indirectly supports, or Randian critiques of altruism, collectivism. Yeah, keep this template, guys. This is helpful for people. Well, I mean, it's more helpful for me. Now, let's see. Last thing, we counter common leftist replies in advance. Not real communism. Scandinavian mono-capitalism causing inequality. I did kind of counter the people in the chat. There's a couple of commies in there, and yeah, I counter them. So, but anyway, that's good. Counter leftist replies. So it's good to prepare some kind of replies that are typical. So you're ready. Okay, so now the next part I need to probably work on was delivery and engagement. Increase energy variety. Vary tone. Use rhetorical question. Pauses for emphasis. If live, interact with chat more. Yeah, well, I thought I did interact with chat more, but maybe I should have done more. I don't know. The other part of it is clip strategy. We know this. So I should plan to turn the best like 60, 90-second segments into short reels or TikToks immediately after stream. Titles like Hasan Piker gets destroyed on property rights perform well. Length for analysis like 45 to 90 minutes is often better than marathon streams unless you're doing like a live debate reaction. Yeah, you're doing live debate reaction like Liquid Zulu or Fabian Liberty. They do a long one. And they're talking 3 hours. Okay, so here's 5 growth tactics. So I should post a stream to relevant subreddits. Anarcho-capitalism, libertarian, objectivism with neutral summary, avoid spammy titles. I got lots of these essays, lots of this stuff that I've written here. I can post on those. Cross promote on X. I kind of do that with clips, though. I need key clips. Collaborate or react to other Liberty creators for cross audience. Yeah, I need to do that more. I don't do that enough. Although I do post it on Fabian Liberty's Discord. Consistency, schedule regular, any kind of follow-up streams or leftist streamer of the weeks here. This is a follow-up, actually. This is more a follow-up, and this is a critique of my video yesterday, what I did wrong, what I did right. So that's what I'm planning to do. I'm going to do the stream every Friday like I usually do, and then the next day I'll do a critique of it and look and see if I made any improvements on these points. So I keep this whole spreadsheet here I'm keeping, and I'm going to refer to it at the end of the week, the Saturday evening stream. So you have screen cards, a call to action. Yes, we know that one. What other socialist streamers should I cover? Yeah. I also probably what other anarcho-capitalists or what other people that are critical of libertarianism, that kind of thing, or not real libertarian, that kind of thing, those kind of critiques. Okay, tags. So use a mix of high search, Hasan Piker, HasanAbi, and niche, Ancap, anarcho-capitalism, objectivist, voluntarism, critique of socialism. Yeah, use those kind of tags. So I keep that here. I'm going to highlight those as red so I can watch retention graph. We'll get to that next. So I'll copy this and save this as my tags. And then the next thing is monitor analytics after 48, 72 hours. Watch retention graph. Double down on what keeps people watching. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to become like a grifter, you know what I mean? I'm just sticking to my principles here. Yeah. So keep it clean there. Okay. So those are the 6 points I wanted to cover. Now the next thing the last thing I want to do is overall assessment. So this was, I guess, this was kind of a solid first swing in a niche political critique stream. My core ideas or your core, it doesn't matter. It could be yours if you're watching this, or mine or yours. My core ideas are coherent with radical liberty philosophy, and targeting Hasan is strategically smart. The main bottlenecks are retention, engagement, production, and making the critique feel evidence-driven rather than purely moralistic. I mean, that does have its use, the moralistic stuff, if that's what you're going for. If I tighten the structures, lead with the strongest evidence clips, improve in visuals, treat every stream like you're competing for Hasan's audience. Do I really want to do that though? Because they're never going to change their mind. Not just preaching to libertarians. You'll see better growth. Oh yeah. So okay, tighten my structure. Lead with strongest evidence clips. Improve visuals. Treat every stream like you're competing for the audience. Maybe. Well, that's something Casimir might like. Okay. We'll just get rid of that. I don't need that. That was part of my notes. Okay. So now we get to the next part that I should have covered with visuals. Some more concrete real-world examples, and they're tied directly to the points from my previous analysis, plus practical, actionable tips to boost retention, watch time, and engagement, comments, likes, shares, subs. Okay. So number one, real-world examples of Hasan's hypocrisy and rhetoric for stronger evidence-based content. These are proven high engagement angles that other creators have used successfully. Okay, real-world examples. Okay, the next one is luxury lifestyle hypocrisy. Hasan buying a $2 to $3 million house in West Hollywood while rallying against capitalism and eat the rich. Multiple videos on this Daily Wire style critiques racked up hundreds of thousands of views by showing the house, his income estimates, and his defenses. Okay, and then we get to the next part, violent rhetoric clips. Old clip, tickle them. He says, kill them, murder those mother fathers in the street, let the streets soak in their blood. We saw that clip at the beginning. Guys, but we saw other violent rhetoric they talked about, and racist rhetoric too against whites, about landlords, property owners. He called it hyperbolic, sarcastic in interviews, but it's gold for Ancap critiques or normalization of initiatory force. Yes. Oh, hyperbolic and sarcastic. I guess Nick Fuentes too. He was hyperbolic and sarcastic when he said Hitler was cool. So does that only apply to Hasan? Does that only apply to him? It doesn't apply to Nick Fuentes. Remember Piers Morgan called out Nick Fuentes. And okay, it keeps going. Recent comments on cool crimes like bank robberies or stealing from war or revolutionary violence. So how to use these? So open my next stream with a 15 or 30 second clip like I did of one of these, then immediately contrast it with the NAP non-aggression principle. I didn't do that though. And that goes against the non-aggression principle because you're advocating violence. Voluntary exchange or historical data on outcomes of collectivism. This creates an instant hook payoff loop. So other strong angles I could have done was his America deserved 9/11 comment, defenses of certain groups or wealth accumulation while pushing policies that punish it. Going on here, retention clips keep people watching longer. Yeah, that's nice. Retention is YouTube's #1 ranking signal after CTR. So here's what you do to retention, viewers. Front load the best stuff. Like I did, the first 15 or 30 seconds, your strongest clips, punchy thesis. Hasan makes millions preaching the system he wants to destroy. He's proof and consider why it matters for individual rights. So something like that. This is a good model to use. Next Friday, I'm going to do a has-been critique. And then I'm going to do, probably on Thursday, I'm going to do Praxban versus has-been debate analysis. And then Friday, I'll do the has-been deep dive using this similar format. Or at least attempted to get it better. Here's the part I don't do. Add chapters, time points, very easy, high impact in your video description. Lines like intro, strongest Hasan clip, you see right there, $3 billion for hypocrisy and kill the landlords, rhetoric analyzed, historical lessons for collectivism, Ancap alternatives. So this is good, little titles. I need to do that. So I need at least 3 chapters, each 10 seconds. Disapproves navigation, CEO, and previous value. Okay. A lot of people do that already. I don't do it, but I'm gonna probably start doing that the next video. I don't know if I'll do it standalone video. Maybe I should probably do it on the standalone videos because they are divided by chapters. So so the thing I did wrong was I need to vary pacing. Alternative talking head. Alternate talking head, then Hasan clip, on-screen text graphics, my rebuttal. Like this arrow graph. Plus B-roll, house photos, charts on communist death tolls versus capitalist poverty reduction, simple animations. Let me highlight that one. Yeah, I need to do that. So these are the things I'm going to be working on. And there you go. Okay. Continuing on, more tips. Length and structure. Aim for 45 to 75 minutes for deep dives, unless you're very high energy. Kino Casino, they go on for 11 hours. End with a strong CTA. Engagement tips. More comments, like, shares. Ask questions explicitly. Okay, that's a good one. I kind of did that, and I was leaning toward that yesterday, but I didn't do that. I didn't do that as much like this. Like, for example, is Hasan's hyperbolic violence talk harmless, or does it normalize force? Comment below, or should successful streamers like Hasan live by the rules they preach? Like if you agree. Okay, that's standard. That's standard mill stuff. Okay. Controversy plus curiosity. Titles that create gap. Hasan defends cool crimes, Ancap response. Community building, replay to every comment in the first, reply to every comment in the first 24 to 48 hours. I did that already. Pin a comment, ask for new next targets. Who should I critique next? Well, I already know who I'm going to do critique next. I've got tons of stuff that I'm going to be doing over the next couple of weeks. Okay, so number 4, thumbnail and title best practices. Get more clicks, not clickbait. Titles, keep about 40, 70 characters. Front load keywords, emotional curiosity examples. Hey, this is good stuff, guys. Take some notes. For example, Hasan Piker's 3 million house while pushing socialism Ancap critique. Hasan calls bank robbery cool, violent rhetoric exposed. Avoid overusing exposed, which it feels clickbaity. Test accurate but punchy versions, yeah. You see that now with that QVid. I have that installed. IQ vid. It shows where the previous title, because you see where YouTube content creators will update their titles. You can see like 3 or 4 times they change their title. Thumbnails. Hasan's face with strong emotion. I did have that. Shock, anger. Benny Johnson does that. My reaction or face. Red X. Broken chains. Let's see. Another good tactic would be build text, 3 to 5 words max. $3 million house, or kill him in a big sans serif. I don't use sans. Does anybody use sans serif? I guess you can put that in the thumbnails. Yeah. Okay. So high contrast, expensive faces outperform text heavy ones. Expressive faces. Yeah. Keep it simple. 2 to 3 elements. Test. I do keep it simple though. That's the one thing I do right. Test variations in YouTube Studio. Yeah. And then IQ Vid does offer alternatives of thumbnails. Okay, so now let's take a look at some other content creators. Tom Woods TV. So let's take a look at an example of what he does so I can do better. Clean, principled, libertarian breakdowns with good structure. Okay, so let me highlight Tom Woods here in red. And of course, there's David Smith. I know him. He's a comedian. And Topher Field, documentary style. That's kind of like me. So what we'll do is, let me open this up over here, and then we'll search for his, and then we'll watch one of these clips to see if I get some better ideas. Tom Woods TV. Let's grow. Here we go. I'm not familiar with Tom Woods. I should be. Okay, destructive power. Oh, there you go. So there's the example. See, I got the vidIQ installed. So it shows like views gained. Wow, he's got a lot in 7 days. Subscribers, ranked, monthly earnings. His average link video is 54 minutes. 2 uploads per week. Well, I do 3. Okay, so here's the thumbnail they're talking about. See, that's very simple. There's only 3 elements there. He's got the background with the tear and a picture of a guy, and then he's got the nice bold letters. Okay, that's simple. That's kind of what I do. Let's take a look at style. What, he does the same thing?
Tom Woods here. It's episode
There.
2751 of the Tom Woods Show. The great Daryl Cooper is with us. You know him as host of the Martyr Made podcast and co-host with Scott Horton of the Provoked podcast, which, if you're not listening to that,
No
you should do
timestamps.
that after you have exhausted the library of Tom Woods Show episodes, needless to say. Daryl has a tremendous Substack, of which I am one of many, many, many paid subscribers. And so, you know, I can talk to Daryl about anything in the world. You know, so just before we started talking, it went into Western and Eastern Easter, because I'm Latin Rite Catholic and he's, I guess, Armenian Orthodox.
Okay, so they start by introducing each other. All right. Okay. So that's the style that fits in. Where did it go here? Oh, yeah. Then we go to Dave Smith's channel. Let's take a look at his. I kind of know his style. I've seen his debates. Dave Smith, part of the problem. High energy commentary, strong hooks, comedy mixed with philosophy. Let's take a look. I'll just close that out. Bum-ba-dum. Okay, they call him comedian, huh? Let's see, Dave Smith. Let's see his thumbnails. Let's see if it, what has he got here? Dave Smith. Views gained. That's a lot there. Subscribers. His monthly earnings, 12,000. Wow. 68-minute link, 3 uploads per week. He does more. And look at the thumbnail size. There are also 3 elements. There's a picture of the guy on the right, and there's a big, well, there's the big letters in the middle, and right to the left is another element. So yeah, just basically 3 elements. Oh, what's this one? There you go, right up our alley. Let's see how he does. The first 30 seconds are important. Let's see what he gets. Look at that. Okay. Snazzy introduction. He's divided in chapters.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Part of the Problem. I am Dave Smith. He is Robbie the Fire Bernstein. What's going on with you, good friend?
Nothing much. Just put out some new sketches. Go check it out. Robbie the Fire, all of them are on YouTube. If you got a porch for me, thefiretakes.com. You live out in New York City.
Let's see the chapters.
Headlining gig, a porch store in Astoria.
Oh, he has them marked down there. There you go. Libertarian. All right. Hasan Piker and Ethics of Stealing. There you go. Let's go right to that one.
I don't, you know, even Vivek says, oh, taking this position, this is why I got criticized from both sides of this. It's like, yeah, that's right. That's what this will end up doing.
Okay. So there's another interview style there. Okay. What's the other example that I have? Topher Field. I'm not familiar with him. He's more documentary style. Let's take a look. I should probably watch some more of these to do research. But some of these thumbnails, yeah, they're kind of a little busy. All right, let's go. I have for some reason I have Topperfield. Let's go there. There we go. Okay, he's got just 3 elements there. What's his view? He's about the same as Dave Smith. He doesn't make as much as Dave Smith. His videos are about 40 minutes, 6 uploads per week. Wow, okay, he's a busy guy. Let's click on videos and take a look. Okay, so he's got, again, 3 elements in the thumbnail there. Kid, a guy in the background. He's got a big, giant, the big font where it says, national disgrace. The hypocrisy hidden in the outrage is outrageous. Let's take a look at the first seconds and get another example.
There's been a tragedy in Alice Springs. There are now riots in Alice Springs, and things are moving very, very quickly. The media are, of course, all over it. This is actually where the media do come into.
Okay, so he's got clips in the background. He's got an outrage. Now he's got to present counter.
Reporting current events. However, there is an angle here that I don't believe is being covered yet, and we need to talk about. Because for years we've been told that
counter.
we should listen to Indigenous Australians, that we should allow them to run their own justice system, their own education.
Okay, so he's got a kind of a nice style there. He's got a simple background, just a light blue. And he takes up most of the screen. It's a little too much. I mean, he's got the video clips over his shoulder like a TV screen. All right. Okay, let's continue on. So there's 3 examples. Tom Woods, Dave Smith, and Topher Field. So, yeah, watch these successful political reactors, critiques, even if not Ancap, for your clip usage and pacing. So the next, what I'm going to do, immediate action plan for my next stream, or for your next stream. Pick 2 or 3 specific clips. In this case, Hasan clips. House plus violent rhetoric. 2, outline with chapters. 3, create 2 thumbnail variations. 4, then stream record, upload with timestamps, strong description. And then post short clips to X shorts right after. So I'm going to highlight this. Before we get into HasanAbi's debate style. So I do this consistently, 1 to 2 streams per week, analyze YouTube analytics, audience retention graph, plus traffic sources, and iterate. The early growth is slow, but strong hooks plus evidence philosophy combo can work well in the liberty niche. Yeah, if you share a draft title, thumbnail idea, specific timestamps for your last video or your next planned topic, yeah, I can give you some more feedback if you like. Okay, I've got a clear voice. Now it's about packaging and delivery to scale. Keep building, guys. Okay, so that's my advice. So keep this handy here, this little advice chart. I leave this notepad on the screen there so you can look at it for your consideration too. It's not just for me, but it's also for other people that are Ancap, a radical objectivist, libertarian, right libertarian, paleo libertarian, or agorist. And this is kind of a strategy that you can do for uploading to make your videos better. Some of them do a pretty good job already. I think that guy Base Tax, I think he does a pretty good job like that. He does some good snazzy videos. Tick, he does some good ones. All right, so now let's finish up here. Now here is, now we get to the part, the final chapter of this stream. I've done my assessment of my video yesterday, my critique, what I got right, what I got wrong. Now we move on to what Hasan Piker gets wrong, his debate strategies, and how to prepare and execute an effective Ancap objectivist critique. Okay, so again, my lens is anarcho-capitalism, radical objectivism, and agorism. So the first thing you'll note that Hasan is a skilled, high-energy debater who excels at fast talking, emotional appeals, whataboutism, and framing opponents as defending the rich or status quo. But that doesn't have any effect on me. I'll defend the rich. Make trillions of dollars. I don't care. Helps everybody. And this is like similar to Destiny, too. Fast talking, emotional, Ben Shapiro. He often uses Gish gallops rapid fire points, audience cheers, and moral framing. Poverty is violence. Here's how to counter him effectively while staying true to Ancap, voluntarism, objectivist principles. Boop-a-doom. So there you go. And that's Destiny. Destiny also does Gish Gallop. Okay, number 1, core mindset and framing. I'll make this a little bigger. Whoopsie. Oh, here it's on the right side. How about if I just make it even 100% bigger? Well, go. Okay, fine then. Whatever. Okay. So, core mind over here to the right. Number 1, core mindset and framing. So, before the debate, you debate Hasan Piker. Here's what you do. Define the terms up front. Force agreement on basics. Violence means initiation of force. Voluntary exchange is when both parties benefit without coercion. Private property stem from self-ownership and homesteading mixing labor. That's what you say, like that, for example. And say your own definition. Don't do the David Smith definition where you say, according to the Webster Merriam Random House Westinghouse Dictionary. Oh boy, don't do that. Destiny has called out that nonsense before. Do not do that. Come up with your own definition. Because if you read Ayn Rand Objective Epistemology, you know about concept formation and you know about concept integration. Concept integration is the strategy of hierarchical, like a procedure or steps that integrates a concept that avoid contradictions, basically. So you come up with your own definition. Like, what is the definition of all of these ideologies? For example, socialism, democracy, Italian fascism, Hitler's National Socialism, Stalinism, Leninism, Ceausescu. What do they all have in common? They're all collectivist ideologies. So you break down your definition of all these ideologies, for example, just using it for example, to one like primary or one definitive characteristic. And the one definitive characteristic of all the ideologies I've mentioned is collectivism. Whether it's Italian fascism, whether it's Hitler's National Socialism, whether it's Stalinism or Leninism or Ceausescu or Castro or Maoism, whatever it is, they're all collectivists. That is the one definable characteristic. So when you come up with the definition, come up with your definition of it based on the process of concept integration. Use objectivism as your point to come up with the terms. So like for example, the definition of anarcho-capitalism would be conflict avoidance, a free voluntary exchange, avoiding coercion and violence. That's an example. So that's my advice. Define them as you would define them under objectivist principles. Next, your advantage, consistency. Hasan profits massively from capitalism, streaming revenue, $2.7 million plus house, while attacking it. Highlight the performative contradiction. He's performative. Okay, that's another thing. Highlight the inconsistency. The goal here, don't win rhetorically, right? Expose the contradictions. This is something communists will not admit to, is contradictions. They won't accept them. They'll keep denying that the contradictions exist. But get him on contradictions like this. Plant the seeds of doubt in his young audience and demonstrate superior principles. But the problem is I had some dumb audience people come on my stream yesterday, and they were just spouting ad hominem attacks against me. They're using libertarian as a slur. Oh, he's one of those libertarians. He's using it as a slur. And they're saying, what else they were saying? The kind of usual stuff you don't know what you're talking about, but they never actually pointed out anything specific. None of them did. They often change the definition. But anyway, I'm getting off topic here, but stick to the goal. Don't win rhetorically. Expose the contradictions. That's good. And are you okay with those contradictions? Hegel is. Plant the seeds of doubt in the young audience and demonstrate superior principles. Yes, objectivism. Now, number 2, key debate strategies and rebuttals. A, hypocrisy attack. Very strong. So lead with house purchase, luxury lifestyle, high earnings while saying eat the rich or advocating wealth redistribution. Okay, respond to his defenses. It's just a house. I earned it, hyperbole. You earned it, though, through voluntary capitalism, the system you want to dismantle or heavily tax. If your ideas win, fewer people get that opportunity. If private property is theft, why defend yours so aggressively? Right. So get him on those points. Definitely get him on those points. And see what he says. Of course, he'll probably him and Han and try to obfuscate like a typical communist. Okay, and B, the next part here, violence and rhetoric. Play the kill landlords, capitalist blood clip or cool crimes comments. Strategy here, distinguish initiation versus retaliation. So like his rhetoric normalizes aggression against peaceful property owners. Rebuttal, his rebuttal will be, I'm just joking, or not. This rhetoric has real world consequences. Historical examples you give. Joking or not, this rhetoric has real world consequences. Historical examples, French Revolution. Oh God, there's a lot of genocide going on there. Bolsheviks, Cultural Revolution, any of these revolutions. Ideas have consequences. Rand called it the sanction of the victim. So keep that in mind and tell him that. Okay, now get him on the economics here. Here's what I came up with. C, economic and historical arguments. Hasan often cites inequality, of course they all do, Nordic models, which we know that's false, or late stage capitalism, again, and then counter it. Data over feelings. Try to avoid that though. Try to avoid the Ben Shapiro thing. That doesn't really work. But just show some of the data quickly. So like global extreme poverty plummeted under capitalism. Use World Bank, the Bank Madison data. Socialism experiments, Venezuela, USSR, Maoist China, caused mass suffering and genocide. Here's the one thing you get them on too is calculation problem. Mises Hayek, central planning fails without price signals. And then he mentions the Nordic model, right? The Nordic model, they're capitalists with high taxes. They rank high on economic freedom indices. Removing the capitalism part collapses. Yes, every time, even China has to adopt some capitalist stuff in there. And if you look at Somalia too, you look at any of those examples where, or Sankara too, he had to adopt what I think the World's Bank, not the strategy, but the policy was. Eventually, you adopt a free market economy. In other words. And here's the other one, on poverty as violence. Poverty is the default state of humanity. Capitalism is the only system that consistently raised living standards through voluntary cooperation. That's the key word, voluntary cooperation. Okay, so here I made a list of common HasanAbi tactics and counters. Hasan tactic, strategy. I messed up on the graph here, okay. So Gish Gallop, this is Hasan, many points. So now my counter, let's address one at a time. Which is your strongest? Or this is better, moral appeals, right? For the poor, intentions versus outcome. You counter that with intentions versus outcome. Good intentions with bad economics harm the poor the most. That's right, always. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. If he says not real socialism, you counter with no true Scotsman. Every attempt concentrates power and fails for the same reasons. You ever notice all these socialist dictatorships never get past the state part? It always gets to the dictator and the state, and it just stops there, and then it collapses. Here's another one he does, audience pandering. So you counter, speak to the camera audience directly. If you're watching and value your own life and mind, yeah, it's my mind, it's my body, my choice, my money. And the other thing he talks about is whataboutisms, right? U.S. flaws. Flaws, my counter, flaws don't invalidate principles. Ancap seeks to remove coercion entirely. That's what we're trying to do. Okay, so now we got to the point and counterpoint. Hasan's tactic and strategy. Gish Gallop, moral appeals, not real socialism, audience pandering, and whataboutism. My counter, let's address one at a time or stick to a moral framework. Intentions versus outcomes, no true Scotsman, speak to the camera, flaws, not invalidate principles. Okay, don't invalidate principles. Okay, now we get to this other part. E, objectivist, agorist flavor. So you use the self-ownership axiom, agorism, black-gray markets, undermine the state without violence. Again, he advocates violence. You're trying to avoid violence. That's the whole point of agorism. This fits. People will agree with this. People will agree with this. Rand, altruism as a moral trap. Yes. Rational self-interest as a virtue. Selfishness is a virtue. Okay, let me save this. So how about it? Anybody got any questions so far when I've gone over the debate tactic of HasanAbi? I almost called him wasabi. Okay. If you agree to these tactics, click the like button. Okay? If you have a disagreement with the tactics or you want to add to the tactics, leave a comment. And I will comment to you if you comment on something that I've said specifically in the video. Don't say, oh, you sound like a typical libertarian. Use that as a slur. You know, just give me something concrete so we can actually have a real discussion and we can solve these problems. So stick to the video here. If there's any points in the video you want to clarify or you're not sure, leave a comment, or you disagree with, leave a comment, or you have another tactic in mind. Okay, so with that in mind, number 3, we're on this page here. Number 3, practical debate tactics. We're giving you advice how to debate Hasan Piker. So practical debate tactics. The most important thing is stay calm and articulate. Remember, Hasan and Destiny and Vaush, they all get loud and fast. Kind of like Ben Shapiro, too. Slow and care principle focus wins long term, yes. Don't get caught up with the emotion, because Hasan is a bitch. He's beta male. He's, he's got the feminist woman thing going, and he just reacts with emotion. He gets loud, and he'll just spout off gish gallop because you don't know what to say. So, but you just remain focused, clear, and principled. That's the most of the thing. Then, if you can, use visuals, if allowed. Charts, poverty decline, clips of his contradictions, simple diagrams, voluntary trade triangle. You know, the Ross Perot thing. Here's the economy, stupid. Take a look at this graph. Clinton and Bush. And then the one thing you do, and I didn't do this yesterday, is steel man occasionally. They say, Hasan is right that cronyism is bad, right? You say, yes, of course, we agree that these corporate entities are bad, but that's not capitalism. It's corporatism enabled by state intervention. That's the key. State intervention does this all the time. Why is healthcare so expensive? State intervention. Why is your cost of living so high and taxes so high? State intervention. Like, for example, a good point to bring up is like, you have separation of church and state, right? You have separation of religion and state. Now let's have separation of money and state, so we don't get cronyism. How about that? You want the government to stay out of your business, right? You know, Tampon Tim always keeps talking about get the federal government out of our state. All right, we'll leave. We'll turn off the spigot. All federal funding gone. You're on your own, Minnesota. Just frame it like that, and you won't know what to say. And then the other important thing is that you're steel manning occasionally, and then time management. Prepare 3 to 5 killer points. Reiterate thesis. That's important. Reiterate the thesis. And that's something Liquid Zulu is good at doing. Okay, so then at the end, closing. The choice is voluntary cooperation and rights versus coercion and revolutionary violence. History shows which works. Or come up with your own thing. Come up with your own thing. What you think. Come up with your own. That's what Ayn Rand would have wanted. She wanted to come up with your own take on it, on objectivism, and violating the non-aggression principle. Okay, so let's summarize. Now, here's some other things we'll take into consideration at the end here. What would you like? If what you would like, let me know in the comment section below. Okay, so like number 4, preparation checklist. Here we go. compile 5 to 10 short, high-quality clips of Hasan or anybody. House, violent quotes, policy fails. Do that one. Study his recent stream. Oh, yes, definitely. Study his streams. Study his streams. Study any of these streams over and over again. Get to know them, and interviews. Any of them, all of them. You can find all of them. Do that. Really study them. And then you might want to practice with a friend or with a loved one or your wife or husband, whoever. And then they try to practice simulating his style, which is easy to do. He's kind of like Steven Crowder in that way. So yeah, it's easy to do. And then you might want to test your stream format: short intro clip, analysis, audience, Q&A. Just keep it concise. Just whatever. Just keep it concise. Okay, let's keep it summary here. Would you like any scripted rebuttals for common Hasan arguments? I got them. Let me know in the comment section below. You want help preparing a debate outline or thumbnail title for Hasan's debate prep video? Leave a comment in the comment section. You want examples of strong liberty debaters? How others have handled similar leftists? Leave a comment section below, and I'll be glad to help you. Like I said, this wasn't just for me. It was for everybody who was liberty-minded, libertarian, Ancap, a radical objectivist, anarcho-capitalist, and agorist. So this is my whole preparation for today's stream was just this: analyzing what I got right, analyzing what I got wrong from yesterday's critique, and his debate tactics and anything else I can think of. And this is going to be a new thing I'm going to be doing. I know it's just mostly text and talking, but I did start the stream right with the clip of him and clip of others promoting violence and murder of their opponent. So that's so keep that in mind. So I saved this. I don't know where if anybody wants it, let me know. But this is how many pages is 10 pages. Okay. So there you go. That's it. That was it, today's stream. I did a summary of yesterday's stream. And if you have any questions about it, leave a comment. And please, I'm going to say again, comment on something specific in the video. Not ad hominem attacks. Not you're an idiot. Hasan makes more money than you do. If you leave in those kind of comments, I'm just going to ignore you. I'm not going to respond to you at all. Just ask me something specific and I will help you. And you help me. That's why we're here. So yeah, if you agree, hit the like button. If you don't, thanks for coming out. I hope you enjoyed today's stream. I hope it was useful and you found some utility in this. And please, like I said, do the usual: like and just share, and then leave a comment in the comment section for me to look at and read, and I will comment on it immediately. All right. Back to the standby screen. Okay, you are wrong. Thanks for coming out, everybody, and I hope you got something out of the stream, and we'll see you in the next stream or video. Bye-bye.